Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Tamara. Yes, oh my gosh. I love when the studio audience acts like they know what they're supposed to do when I start my show. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I always feel like I'm making all this noise, and I probably am. I apologize, but thank you so much for tuning in. To all my new listeners, new episodes drop every Thursday. I predominantly talk about my life and the way I'm trying to grow. To all my regular supporters, thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. It's so crazy that we're at 122 episodes. I was looking at my calendar, looking at this 5th season will be ending soon. Don't y'all fret. For those of y'all that don't know, I don't take breaks. Your girl been going 122 weeks straight. You feel me? So when this says 122 or episode 122, it's not that I only have 122 episodes. I actually have like 160, including bonus episodes. But this just means that your girl went 122 weeks straight, no breaks. So when I say this season is about to end, because there's 25 episodes per season, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a break. It's just for my own organizational purposes. I like to have seasons. And it's very interesting because as this show details my life in the ways that I'm trying to grow, it's usually when a new season happens that new stuff happen. It's really interesting how that tends to work out. So yeah, thank y'all for continuing to listen. If you're not, you should totally be following me on social media, which, okay, y'all, I know I say this every week, and it's so funny because I mentioned this to Kayliana, and she's like, isn't that what you want? But I've had this sudden increase in Twitter followers, and my Twitter has always been the platform where I've had like the most rapid growth out of every social media platform I'm on. I don't know why, but it's just weird to me that, and I'm not saying this to like, y'all know, I don't know if you don't know, I'm not saying this to boast. It's just weird to me. It doesn't make sense that, like, so at the time of this recording, in the last like day or two, I've gotten like 80 something new followers, and it's just weird. Like, where did y'all come from? Like, because it's not like I got 80 something new listeners, so this ain't all listeners. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. And Kayliana was like, well, isn't that what you want? I mean, like, yeah, of course I do want my social media presence to grow, mainly because I know that the more eyes are on me, the more eyes are going to be on Melon Intoxicate or the services that I offer, workshops, whatever. So like, yes, but it's just, I don't know. But yeah, you should totally follow me on social media. For the most part, I pretty much follow back unless like you don't have a profile pic or you have a bunch of porn stuff on your page or it's not English or like there's certain, or if you're a kid, I don't know, especially on Twitter, yeah, sorry, I'm not following you back. But for the most part, I pretty much follow people back. Yeah, so follow me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, that would be dope if I had 80 new YouTube subscribers that stayed. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to my YouTube. It literally costs y'all $0 to do that, and I'm really trying to grow my channel. I don't even know why. But I did make playlists on there. So I made 2 playlists. One with all the Tamara the Dawn Inc. videos, and then one with all the Pen Tam Z Audible Expressions videos, podcasts. I mean, that's pretty much everywhere. And then all the random stuff. I actually kind of been slipping on random stuff because I just feel like I do so many other videos. I don't know, but I have been, what have I been doing? I have been adding more content on TikTok. And it's funny because I'm starting to get back into, like, I found filters on there. I just figured out how I can change the voice effect. So, like, you're going to continue to see more and more stuff because this is stuff that I used to do with Snapchat, like, all the time. And I kind of just got bored with Snapchat, so I don't really do it anymore. But I really, really like TikTok. Twitter is my favorite platform for networking, but TikTok is my favorite platform for like entertainment purposes. So yeah, I've been putting more content on there. Let's see what else. I guess that's it as far as announcements. There's gonna be a podcast happy hour this month. I think I don't even know what that looks like. By the time this episode drops, we will be on our retreat. So I'm actually finally gonna get to meet Autumn, Audrey, Chris, and Jay next week. So, well, at the time of this or at the time when this episode drops, I'll be on vacation, and so I'm really been working to like get ahead. And so we've kind of gone back and forth about how we're going to do March's podcast happy hour because we'll all be together. We don't know yet, but y'all going to get something. And as always, you'll know when we know because we're going to announce it and all that good stuff. But super excited for my vacation. I haven't had a vacation since 2019. So that's the last time. Okay, I take that back. When my cousin graduated from college, I did go out of town for that. But I mean, it was great, seeing family and all that. But it was, it was different. It's like for a specific purpose for a graduation. So the last time I went on vacation was actually before the podcast launched, the summer of 2019. Went to my dad's house. He lives in the Atlanta area, so it's always cool to go visit him. But the last kid free, y'all, where's that? Yes, I am going on a kid free vacation. I don't think I've gone on a kid-free vacation in like over 10 years, and that's definitely not an exaggeration because yeah, I don't know. I can't think of when I went on one. Yeah, no. So, I am so excited, you guys. I'm going on a vacation. I'll be gone for like almost a week because of the way flights is scheduled. So dope owning my time because I just block stuff off on my Calendly so people can't schedule anything during that time, but I don't have to like take time off, have PTO, have permission from anybody. I have had to scramble to get ahead on my content because y'all know that follow me on social media. Content goes out every day between Tamara the Dawn Inc. and Every Day for Melon Intoxicate. Plus, I got to have my episode for while I'm gone because I'm not bringing my computer. I mean, of course, I'll be on social media because one, there's scheduled stuff, but also for me, social media is just interacting with people. So, like, yeah, the work stuff is work to get brand exposure or company exposure or whatever, but like, I actually enjoy social media. So, like, I'll still be present on social media. I'm not really one of those people that is like, oh, I needed to take a break. But as far as like doing any other type of work stuff, no. So like I have scrambled to get ahead on content. I'm actually really proud of myself because I have 2 full weeks. So ultimately that's for 2 companies worth of content done, ready, scheduled. That just has not happened since I feel like I've been in like CEO training the last 6 months because I was really thinking about this last night. Like, I really dove into this. Now, granted, I made the choice to leave my job because they made me make a choice and I didn't choose them, of course. But with that, I really had to just dive all the way into this because it's kind of like this has to work. You know what I'm saying? And it may not go as fast as maybe I want it to, although really 6 months isn't that much time when you really think about it. But I feel like I've really been in like this crash course CEO training, and one of the biggest lessons that I have had to hop on my neck about, I talked about this on the last solo episode, is about really being more efficient with my time. Like, how can I make the most of my time? Because either I'm going to be scrambling like I kind of was. So then it's like, when I have this large client project that I've been working on, and we're like at the in between phase. So, like, if somebody needs, I think I did 4 or 5 manuals, that's great. I get them done, and then they have to read through them and tell me if they are correct, if there are corrections. And when I say manuals, like, these are all at least like 30, 40 page manuals, right? So they have to tell me if there are corrections or whatever, because a lot of times when I'm doing them, if there's a topic that we didn't discuss, I will just insert something and then tell them to have me adjust it, because some people don't, they don't know what needs to go in an employee handbook or, stuff like that. And so we're in that in between phase where I'm waiting on my client to go through all the corrections or whatever. So it's giving me this not really downtime, but it's giving me this time to like power through and get content ahead. And actually, I plan to stay that way. Like, currently, I'm working, or last Sunday is going to be the last Sunday that I have like that. But I was doing 6 days a week and not 8 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Kayliana was like, I feel like you work more than you did when you had a full time job and were doing this. And she's probably right, because I just know there's so many things that need to be done. I created like ultimately 3 different presentations, but really I created a large one and then broke it down into 2 separate ones to kind of appease to do 2 different kinds of people, because I kind of see there are the content creators that are trying to make their brand into a company, which is kind of the route I went. And then there's the company owners that maybe need more social media training or need to learn how to leverage content on social media, because that's kind of a newer thing for the people that have been, running business forever. And then there's the people that need all of it. So I have like 3 different workshops or whatever. So I had to create that. I had to create the actual curriculum for the presentation, then just creating templates. Y'all know at the top of the year that pay attention, I rebranded all of my stuff. So all of for Tamara the Dawn Inc., not for Melon Intoxicate. But even with Melon Intoxicate, it's been this journey to just figure, how do I best want to present my brand to the world? Now, the memes and all that stuff, that's kind of been kind of consistent, where there's something that's talking about, healthy, or being healthy emotionally, mentally, healthy in our relationships. So that shouldn't be surprising to anybody who has been listening to the show, that that's at the core of that company. But even what it looks like to present merchandise, like, not when other people send me pictures, which shout out to every one of y'all who may or may not even be listening to this, but who have bought merchandise. I love when, like, you don't know who buys what, and then I'll get tagged in a picture, or somebody will just text me a picture or whatever. So love it, love it, love it, especially because, I mean, this brand just launched in December. So it's not like I've been out for a long time. There's still a lot of people that don't even know that Melon Intoxicate exists. You know what I'm saying? So super encouraging. But even with that, I've really just been figuring out, how do I want to do everything that I do. And there's been like subtle changes, even with the way that I do the Wednesday and Saturday video, that now I feel like, are more efficient. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about, how can I be the most efficient and still be effective? So still achieve the goal, but in the most efficient way possible. That's just how my mind has always worked as an employee. And I love that because it is such a needed skill when I have so many different things that I'm trying to do at the same time. So I really feel like even there's going to be different ways that I market stuff going forward. Like when I come back from vacation, that's going to look different. Like it's it's so interesting. Like I see people do stuff, but I don't do stuff. I can, like, what do they say? Eat the meat and spit out the bones. So you'll see, like, I follow a lot of different, like, either CEOs or influencers or whatever that like give out free game and whatnot. And of course, leveraging content is the way to go. I'm also in a couple of uh entrepreneur Facebook groups on, well, obviously on Facebook. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's so funny. But anyways, and so I know I need, like, the Canva graphics are great, but I do need to start doing more videos. And I've known that for a while. I just have waited because I just didn't really have time. So I'm like, hey, I'm doing the bare minimum right now while I'm getting everything else in order because I really had to figure out how to be more efficient with my time. So that's the beautiful thing about going on this vacation is it's actually forcing me to get myself ahead so that I can actually enjoy. Y'all, vacation Tam. Woo! Kid-free vacation Tam. I can't wait. I can't wait. But then even when I come back, I'm not doing, like, it's gonna look different how I work. Like Saturday will always be my rest day, and the only time it's not is if I happen to schedule like a recording, then I'll switch my rest day to a different day. Sunday really can't be a rest day because I think I've said this before. I serve on the creative team at my church. So it's kind of like I kind of have to get on my computer to upload the notes and do everything else that I need to do. So it's kind of like that's not a rest day, but I don't want it to be a up till 3 o'clock in the morning creating the content for the week type of day anymore. Like I don't want that life. I'm cool with maybe writing my blogs on Sunday because I do that weekly, although I will have to get ahead for while I'm gone because I like that to either be written, if not Sunday, then Monday, because I want it to be as close to whatever I'm feeling, I guess, for the week, because that is more so just like it's the intimate and funny musings of Tamara. So it's literally just kind of like a podcast, but not, because I go more in depth, more so just about what am I feeling, what am I thinking, and I don't always like talk specifically about things. I usually just focus on the emotion. But anywho, that is what I have been doing, is trying to just really become way more efficient with my time, because I was starting, I'm not going to say that I was getting burnt out, but I was just like, man, if I had a bunch of clients, how would I survive? And the beautiful thing, this is why I always say the journey prepares you for where you're going, because I didn't have a whole bunch of clients. So while I've been in this like CEO boot camp, this crash course of trying to become a business owner, because this is something I've never done before. So I'll like listen to podcasts that give me tips, or I'll watch videos sometimes, or read articles, or whatever I can do to try to like grow as a boss, or excuse me, I've been a manager, a CEO, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never done this before and I want to do it well. And that's how I am with all things. I remember telling my parent, more mainly my mom. I remember telling my mom this when I was talking to her about leaving my job, and I was like, "You've seen that every company that I've worked for, I dive in head first, pour my all into it, and I get promotions and I get raises and I've gotten bonuses and all this stuff. So like, how much more is that gonna be with my own company?" Well, of course, as y'all can see who have followed my journey, you're seeing, even if it's just you're seeing all the content that I'm putting out, because that's what most people see. Most people see the content that I put out on social media, and even like how I'm growing with that. That's what most people see. But what y'all don't see is even like, I mean, you don't see when I interact with clients, you don't see when I lead workshops unless you attend, you know what I'm saying? But what you don't see is just like me growing in really owning who I am, because it's this is how I am in all things. Like sometimes it takes my mind a while, not, yeah, I guess it takes me a while not to catch up like I'm slow, but it just really takes me a while to really embrace, that's probably a better word, what's going on and where I'm at. And 6 months is about right. So like when I'm constantly doing something, it takes me a while sometimes to realize like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm actually doing. And then once I realize that, then it's like, okay, well, how can I do this better if this is what I'm actually doing? So that's kind of what the last like 6 months, because it was almost, well, actually, by the time y'all listen to this, it will be 6 months since I left my job, which is just wild. But I needed all that time to really embrace that, okay, this is who I am. Like, I am a business owner now. And I really had to like debrief and break off the things from just being that employer mindset. So the employer mindset has been, okay, I got to meet deadlines. So if I know content needs to be out every day, the content at the very latest needs to be done the night before, because sometimes I would be asleep when the content would go out at 8 o'clock in the morning, depending on how late I was up the night before. So that's the employee of me. Yes, meet deadlines, whatever. The CEO Tamara is like, okay, you need to be more strategic. Like, you have to put content out every day, whatever. You already have your 20 kind of like principles that I teach, because there's a weekly theme every week, and every meme that I create, because I literally create all the content. Now, some stuff I do a little bit of research on, don't get me wrong, but even with that, I still, if you notice, the kind of like lens and the voice that it comes through is always about the journey preparing you, because I just feel like people have this misconception like there's overnight success, excuse me, because y'all hear me say that you see the growth within 6 months, but me and my friend Lindsey, shout out to her if you know about PenTamZ, and shout out to Penrose, of course, but me and Lindsey, I mean, we've been friends for over a decade, and we know that I've actually been being prepared for such a time as this for over a decade. So everyone else is seeing like, oh man, in the last 6 months, man, she's had this growth and she's doing, I mean, a lot of people want to be their own boss, you know what I'm saying? However, it wasn't just this 6 month thing, you know what I'm saying? Like even with Melon Intoxicate, that came out in December, but that was a year in the making, just from the inception of the idea of Melon Intoxicate, and then everything that I did to kind of like establish the foundation for it. So it's kind of like, I'm always telling people the journey prepares you, because it is about the journey. You know what I'm saying? Once you achieve a goal, like I had a certain goal that I wanted to get to like a certain amount of downloads, right? And then when I achieved that goal, I didn't even share it on social media, because it was kind of like, okay, now what? And that's honestly how it has been with every major goal that I've had. Like, it's dope. Like, when I graduated college, I mean, I worked really hard, worked full time, raised kids. Even at some point, like, I took this like accelerated program so I could like hurry up and be done and all this stuff. And then when I graduated, I just remember thinking, okay, now what? Because at that point, I was already working in the social work field. So it's not like I've been very fortunate that I was able to get into the field while I was in, actually, as I had just started school. I'm very fortunate. I didn't realize that's not how everybody's journey goes until I would talk to some of my classmates, and they're working. I'm assuming they're in the field like me, and they're working not in the field at like telemarketing or Walmart or whatever. No shade to any of that, but it's super dope that I was able to get prepared as I was getting my education, because I remember one particular excuse me, one particular job. I am, hold on, let me drink some water or something, because mm-mm, clearly I'm struggling, But one particular job I got, I remember you were supposed to have a bachelor's degree, but they hired me anyway because I was maybe a year away from having it, or I don't even think it was, I think I was 9 months away from finishing classes, because I actually finished, like, we graduated in May, but I have finished in March. You know what I'm saying? So I was like 9 months away from finishing, and I also had years of experience, and so they went ahead and hired me, even though I didn't have my bachelor's degree. So I've, excuse me, been very fortunate with that. But I say all that to say, sometimes when you achieve certain goals, like, okay, launch the company. I did that end of July. Okay, now what? Okay, I want to leave. I remember telling Lindsey, I'm like, I don't know how and I don't know why, but somehow by the end of the year, I don't want to be working here and running a company. Like, I don't want to be doing all this at the same time. Okay, so that happened. Okay, now what? Then it's like, man, I can't wait till Melon Intoxicate launches. Da 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 da. And then that launched. And then now what? So, like, and don't get me wrong, no shade to these accomplishments that I have, because I'm not gonna say I'm very proud of myself. Why am I just like, had to drink some more water? I don't know why I'm all like choked up on my words. Like, what is going on? But anywho, you feel me? I'm not. I can't really say I'm proud of myself. I guess I feel like blessed and fortunate and stuff like that. And I know that I've done the work to make things happen. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to minimize what I do, but I don't know. I'm just feel very blessed that I'm in a season that I get to, like, do what I'm doing and all these things. However, it's like every time I achieve whatever goal I had, then it's like, okay, now what? But if I focus on the journey, and if I realize how the journey is preparing me, even like teaching me to be more efficient with my time and be ahead with content, to give me more leverage and wiggle room for whatever, or even just so I don't have to just be where my kid, all you do is work. And, like, there's nothing wrong with that, but how would I even have time for a relationship if I wanted one? Because I really wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about these things too, because sometimes you have to prepare for what you want. Actually, most of the time you have to prepare for what you want before you get it, so that when you actually get it, you sustain it. That's why I always say the journey prepares you for where you're going, and that's the lens, tying it all back together, that my content for Tamara the Dawn Inc. comes through. Like, no matter what principle I'm teaching, it could be about patience, it could be about integrity, it could be about branding or marketing. Somewhere in there, I'm still talking about, like, how can you, though, as a person, be a decent human being as you're working towards achieving your goals? How can you do it professionally and with ethics and all that stuff, and with integrity? Because at the end of the day, if you have a dope product, or you have great services that you can offer people, but people think you're grimy, or you don't have a good reputation, it's going to, like, hinder your company growing or you retaining customers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all of those things are equally as important as having a good product, having a good service. Like, when I was working on the project that I'm kind of in the middle of right now, I know I'm going out of town. And so I emailed her and I was like, hey, just a heads up. I'm going out, like, because I'm still waiting on editing. So I'm like, I'm leaving town and I'll be gone from this time frame. I will not be working during this trip. So if you get me the edits by this date, I will have it to you before I leave. Otherwise, if you don't, then I'll get to it as soon as I get back. You know what I'm saying? And she thanked me for the FYI, because people, like, you have to communicate that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Especially as we have a new relationship and she's already paid me a deposit. So every service that I have, I'm getting some or all of the money up front because I'm not going to be doing work and y'all might flake out or whatever. I've had like gang intervention. It was a great experience. And what it taught me is why I have it to where I at least have a deposit. So, if you don't know, I did gang intervention for a while. So it's kind of like I was contracted to juvenile probation to work with at risk youth. And you had to work 25 hours with a client before you could get paid. And the thing about it is, if the probation officer or at any level of the state and all the checks and balances they had to go through went slow, it just kept getting worse and worse with me getting delayed getting paid. And it's like my landlord got tired of hearing I didn't get paid yet. Now I would give them, I should say, my money eventually once I got it, but it's kind of like I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? So like if you didn't give me this deposit and then you email me, because I'm gonna have an away message even on my emails, like just so people know what's going on, because you never know. Like people give out my business cards to people, so somebody may call, somebody may email me, whatever, and that's great. But when I'm on vacation, like I've gotten really, really good at Saturday is my rest day. So on Saturday, I don't work. Now, if someone texts me, I will respond to a text message and I will say, "Okay, I got, whatever. I'll circle back on Monday," or however I word it, so that they see that I got it, but also letting them know like I'm not doing this right now because Saturday is my rest day. It is very, very important. Even as somebody who is trying to grow a business, trying to grow clientele, all that, it is still important to have rest days and take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, how I'm gonna present my best self to whatever I'm trying to do. So I am super excited, y'all, about this kid-free vacation. Super excited to meet the crew. I mean, it's crazy to think about that we haven't actually met in real life, because it's been like 2 years of not even podcast happy hour, because that started afterwards, but just like movie nights and video calls and emergency meetings, and we talk in the group chat like every day. So super excited about this, but I am like the most excited that it's kid free. And I'm going to be traveling more, like I told y'all, because my kids are 18, 19, soon to be 20, and 22. They got transportation, they got what they need to get around, whatever. So I could go out of town without y'all. We going to have family trips too, you feel me? But man, I have always wanted to travel, but I became a mom at 19. And so I just haven't really been, and then working the social work field, like it just wasn't financially lucrative like it needed to be. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that is where I'm at, guys. Let's see what else. Okay, so I've been watching a little bit more TV lately, actually, which is kind of wild because I don't know, but I've been just trying to have like downtime. So I like binged all of, I don't know if it's the first season, but the first 9 episodes of Abbott Elementary. Hilarious. It's on Hulu. It's like 22-minute episodes. I am becoming such a fan of shows that are like less than 30 minutes, just because they leave you wanting more, but like that way I can just kind of watch it and move on or whatever. So I binged that. Of course, watching Power, which y'all know that is my favorite show. I'm kind of sad because after Tommy's season ends, then there's going to be like however many months until Raising Kanan comes back. And we've gotten kind of spoiled because it went from Raising Kanan. Now, I didn't watch BMF because I was watching You then and doing those recaps, but kind of went from Raising Kanan, however many episodes BMF was, then Power Book 2, then Tommy. So it's been just this boom, boom, boom. And then now we got to wait. But I have loved that. Snowfall is back, and I have questions. Like, every episode, I'm like, okay, where did this girl come from? Which, don't trust her, just like I didn't trust the last. He really, it, ever since him and Mel broke up, or I should say, ever since Mel became a crackhead, which caused the downfall of their relationship. I mean, plus, yeah, he killed her dad, but she didn't know that at first. But besides that, man, he has had the worst taste in women ever since then. And I'm not saying, I'm not talking about looks or nothing like that. I'm just talking about who they are as a person. And I do not trust this baby mama, but I'm just nervous because if that's his baby mama and she's like, I don't know if she's the feds or what she is, but no, I'm cool on her. But also, I have so many questions about everything that's happening in the season. But of course, I still watch it because that's my show. And y'all, me and Kayliana watched the Tinder Swindler the other day. And shout out to All Docked Up. That's one of Chris's podcasts that she does with Penrose and VJ. And I will watch their live show pretty much almost every one, and I'm usually will watch the live show where they do the documentary recap. Most of the time I don't watch the documentaries ever because they tell me enough to where I don't need to and I already know what happened. But I needed to know how this man, Simon Leviev, but that's not even his real name, was able to swindle all these girls out of all this money. Like, first of all, y'all, I don't even have money to give like that. So that's number one. Cause I'm talking chicks was giving 30,000 here, 10,000 there, 25,000 here, 250,000 total there, like big money. You know what I'm saying? Just giving money. I don't even have that to give. So that's number one. Let me not even have y'all even remotely think I got it like that because I don't. You know what I'm saying? However, if I did have it like that to give, I'm sorry, your enemies, man, they would just have to get you. Like, because, and I don't I guess because I'm such a deep thinker or I'm a overthinker, actually. That's probably why I don't be getting scammed by these people, like these scammers that call me. I love trolling the freak out of them. Like, I kind of been slipping. I ain't really had time to answer my spam likely calls like I normally. And they also haven't been calling me as much lately too. But anywho, I love trolling them. But when I get random IG messages, even random Facebook messages is becoming a thing or whatever with these scammers. I don't understand how y'all be falling for that because I just have too many questions. Like, I need answers. Who are your enemies? Where are they? Why aren't you asking your dad for help? Why isn't your dad sending for you if he's the king of the diamonds? And just all these lies that this man told. It was quite entertaining. But yeah, I don't understand how. I don't understand. I can't even say what I want to say because the mom is in the next room. But what I will say is he had to be slanging that thing, something. Like, I don't understand how. I don't know. Yeah, but he was swindling them out of all the money. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you did, you know that from social media probably. But the rest, I'm gonna tell you, he out here free. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get like barely did any time and didn't get any criminal charges. Like, what he actually went to jail for was for something else and just whatever. It was interesting though, and it's funny because I knew Kayliana would like it. She actually said she wanted to have a movie night, so I'm like, okay, yeah, let's watch this because I felt like it would be interesting to both her and I. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, watch that. Like I said, just trying to be more efficient with my time. It feels so good to have achieved my goal of like actually being ahead because even when I come back, because I even did it to where I'm as of today, recording in this, mind you, I'm not actually leaving till next week, so we'll see how much further ahead I can get, because there's not much else for me to do right now. While like I'm not accepting appointments for any new clients right now. If you notice, I haven't even been advertising for the past maybe week or so, mainly because I knew I was going out of town, so I don't want to start something before I then will be gone for basically a week. So I'm kind of at this, just trying to wrap things up or whatever before I leave. And so I guess every day until I leave, I'll just keep creating content for the next week. So like I'll still be ahead, and I'm gonna love it because I'm not gonna have these crazy Sundays anymore. That's gonna be just so great, because it was just, I don't know. I can go with certain things for so long, and then I'm just the kind of person that when it's time to stop, I no longer have the grace for it. So it's like I don't have the grace for these long Sundays anymore. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do any work on Sunday, but predominantly it will be Monday through Friday with a little on Sunday, nothing on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to have a better work life balance, because I also been slipping on working out, and I just was like, hey, I'll work out when I come back from vacation, because I don't have time. I'm trying to like make sure that I can actually enjoy my vacation. So that means I gotta just grind right now. So yeah, let's see. My encouragement to y'all is, one, give folks their flowers, because you just don't know what battles they are facing. So that's one. I got a review. I don't always look at my Apple Podcast review, and since this is public, I guess I'll say who left the review or whatever. Because a lot of times when stuff happens, I don't say who it is. I mean, they know the vibes if they hear it. But since this is like public, it is what it is. So Baylor left me an Apple Podcast review, and the interesting thing about it is, and I'm actually going to read it to y'all, because this is why I say give people their flowers, because you don't know, all y'all see, and I'm very transparent about this on purpose, because so many times we look at like these celebrities or even these social media influencers or all these people, and all you see is whatever on social media. So y'all seeing me keeping up with creating content and promoting that I'm offering more services. So obviously my company is at least expanding the services that it offers. And I created a workshop. So y'all see me consistently promoting content and all that good stuff. But you don't know what people are going through on the other side, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. And so I'm transparent about it, just so you could see that I don't, just because I am, because that's how my show is set up. But it has been a struggle. It has been a hard adjustment, like having to shift from, just like I said earlier, being an employee to actually trying to be more about planning ahead and being more strategic, and instead of just, and I've always kind of been strategic, but it's been more so deadline focused, and that's how I would prioritize tasks, and there is a purpose for that, but I need to, get more ahead and get into the planning and efficiency and all that. And so he left this review, and he was like, he put the caption, because on Apple Podcasts you could put a caption. He put melon intoxicate. So that's my brand. And it's something that like I talked to Baylor about prior. There was like a small, outside of the crew, they knew about it, but there's maybe like a few other people that, either because we record a lot or whatever reason, they knew about melon intoxicate ahead of time. And Baylor was one of those people, because we have talked a lot, mainly because we, the movie tiers and the power episodes, when you record with someone pretty consistently, especially how we are, we usually talk afterwards. So then, mind you, if you record with Baylor, so we're Central Standard Time, he's West Coast, we're starting our recordings at like 11 o'clock at, as he likes to say, demon time, starting our recordings at 11 o'clock at night, our time, then record for however long, then talking. So we'd be having like these late nights sometimes between him, Cedric, and I. But, anyways, he knew about Melon Intoxicate, okay? So he said, is there a goal out there you can't achieve? Definitely one of the hardest working humans when it comes to content and a business mind that companies should be fighting over. Hashtag soon BTG. Now, what? And I actually text him and, thanked him for that because it actually made me tear up a little bit when I read it, because it's like one of the things that I've been really wrestling with is I know that I know the workshop that I created is valuable information, because ultimately what I'm doing is I'm taking what I learned on my journey plus the research that I've done, and I'm saying, hey, here are all the things that are important for you to consider as you're establishing your company, and you maybe don't have to learn the hard way on some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Plus, and it's only $40. I look at prices, man, people charge a lot more for all that I offer than I charge, but I want to make it affordable for the people that, because when you're just starting out, you probably don't have a whole bunch of money. And even if you do, when you still $40, the price is the price, you know what I'm saying? So I struggle though, because like, okay, so I had a workshop that happened Wednesday. So my first workshop I've like scheduled two. The first one, somebody showed up. The second one that I just had, nobody showed up. And that's how business is. Like, you have, with Melon Intoxicate, the month it launched, I was like the most sales, which was kind of dope because it was December. And then January barely had any sales. Then February was better. March, we'll see, because March isn't over yet. So there's like the ebbs and flows of business. And I see so many memes in the entrepreneur Facebook groups that I'm in, where they're like, one day you're like, yes, because you had this great day. And the next day you're like, man, I'm about to just go get a job. I can't do this no more. So it's been this wild roller coaster. But, and then it's like, consulting is there's a lot of consultants out there, and there's a lot of ways that people do stuff. And I'm doing things the way that I believe I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to add value and whatever. And what I have to remind myself is, just because no one else is doing it doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. So like, even with Melon Intoxicate, if you look, when I post memes, I create the memes and I have my branding all over it. And when I create memes for Tamara the Non Ink, because there's like a lot of different things that goes out, but every evening there's a one page graphic. It's actually a video. That's a meme. So that's every night, or Monday through Friday. And I create that. So everything has my branding. I see a lot of companies that they and I was doing this at first, so there's no shade at all. I just would take memes off of the internet that I found that lined up with, what I wanted to say or whatever. And for whatever reason, at the top of the year, I just wanted everything, when you go to my IG page, the aesthetics to just be all of my branding color, excuse me. But I don't like go look at other people's memes and then copy what they say. That irritates me. It's like, if I do include something that's like a saying, I will say as the saying goes, or maybe put it in quotation marks depending on how short it is or whatever. But I'm very big on citing my source and not, stealing people's whatever. College really instilled that in me, because my college professors would never, you know what I'm saying? But I'm very big on that. But it does mean there's more work, whatever. And it's just, I've been just kind of wrestling with the services are needed. There are people that need content creator efficiencies coaching. You know what I'm saying? There are people that really need the services that I have to offer. But of course, you have to establish yourself, word of mouth. You have to just like that. You just have to keep going when you're building something from scratch. And so it's been this like just wild journey, and I question myself a lot, like, is this even needed? Like, does this even bring value? Even though I did market research before I launched my company, but it's just when things are not happening how you want them to happen, it's just the nature of how it goes. So to read that and him not even be talking about my podcast, and I don't even like, he wrote this months ago, so that shows y'all how often I actually look at my Apple Podcast reviews, because I don't even like listen to my shows. I don't even know what made me go there, but obviously I needed to read that today. So that's why I say he had no idea that. I mean, he wrote it months ago, but I needed to read it today. He had no idea, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that's why you got to give people their flowers. Like, I'm really big on, if I appreciate them or appreciate something they did or whatever, I try to tell people, because honestly, you never know when you won't be able to talk to that person anymore. And that's why, like, y'all know, my brother-in-law passed away, and it's been little over a month at this point. And what I'm grateful for is that, the last conversation that we actually had in October, like, in every conversation, we always told each other how, that we loved each other or whatever. And it was never like nothing like that at all. Like, that's literally like my brother, you know what I'm saying? But we always said that, or that we appreciated each other or whatever, especially after his brother died, because like, he was a constant for the girls, because the girls grew up with him. Like, when they would go visit their dad, even after we split, he would always make sure that he took them around his uncle, so his brother, and his kids. So like, and then when I would talk to him about stuff like dealing with Janae, it would just I would know that, yeah, this reminds me of her dad, but he would say it, you know what I'm saying? And there was just certain things that he just understood that, like, you wouldn't understand if whatever. And so I'm grateful that I was able to tell him how much I appreciated him and all that stuff, because like, I never would have thought that at the age that we are, like, we're only in our 40s, you know what I'm saying? And for both of them to be gone, it just doesn't make sense for my kids and his kids to both be without their dads. Like, it's just wild. And I know people lose their dads all the time, but it's just wild that like two brothers are gone. And I don't know. So yeah, give people their flowers, you know what I'm saying? But then also, I'm having to tell myself, like, don't be so hard on yourself, because for one, you never know who's watching your journey, that you're inspiring them just because you keep going, you know what I'm saying? But then also too, like, I've never been a CEO, so I'm trying to figure this out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm doing what I can. There's so many free resources out there, so I'm doing my due diligence to grow and become better and apply what I'm learning that makes sense and all that stuff, and even stepping out of my comfort zone and whatnot. But give yourself grace to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? Because that negative self-talk is not helpful, literally at all. Like, honestly, when you have positive self-talk, you actually increase your confidence. It can increase your performance and enhance your not your mood, but we'll just go with that, because I did a little bit of research on that. On like when I'm making my videos, I'm like, okay, well, what does this do for you? You know what I'm saying? Or even when I'm doing my content, like, I'll know. Let's see, what is this week? Let me look at my calendar. So this week, right now, that we're currently in, is efficiency, right? So I know efficiency is important, but sometimes I don't always know how to articulate how I want to say it to be where so that other people can understand it in a business perspective. And so I'll just Google like, why is efficiency important? And then I'll read through articles to kind of like see what the research says about it and then formulate my own opinion or my own way or my niche, as they like to say, of how can I communicate that efficiency is important with the way that I communicate everything else with my brand. So it's this interesting thing that, man, shout out to podcasting because that really taught me about branding. But I'm very blessed that my show is about my life and the ways I'm trying to grow, as is my blog, because this is a place where I could just do what I want to do. And as long as I put out content every week, it doesn't really matter what the episode is about because the show is about my life. So like these solo episodes, I'm usually just talking to y'all about whatever happened in my week or whatever. And I don't sometimes like this time I kind of have bullet points because I had some things that I wanted to touch on and make sure I don't forget. But usually I just, whatever happens, happens. But I'm very blessed with that because it's like this is space where I have freedom amidst the structure because as a creative it is very challenging to me. I've always preferred to be like a free spirit when it came to creating, so like creating when I want and when I feel it and as the spirit moves me and all that stuff, right? However, that can't be the case when I have to have content go out every day. Nobody said I had to have content go out every day, but that's what I decided. So that's what I'm going to stick to. Then there's PenTamZ. You know what I'm saying? We do monthly jam sessions. So at least monthly, I have to write new poetry. Y'all, that's different. I ain't never did that before. And I've done spoken word events like in person, so I'm not new to spoken word, but never this frequently. So it has been like so yeah, I'm getting what I want. This is the life that I've always wanted to live. Like I've always wanted to host spoken word nights. I won't say that I necessarily always wanted to own my own company because I never really thought about that, but I love being on the consulting side of things because there were things like professionalism and just having a solid foundation, having standard operating procedure documents, and all that stuff has been important to me in the companies that I've worked in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do my part to help other companies make it a better place for their employees. You know what I'm saying? For you and for me. Heal the world. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so it's super dope, but man, as they said, heavy is I'm about to jack that saying all up. So I'll say to whom much is given, much is required. So like it takes a lot to keep everything going. I have to be very disciplined. I have to when I don't feel like it and I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, but if I didn't get something done and I have to have it done by a certain day, especially by Friday. Like Friday is usually my long night because I'm like, okay, I gotta get whatever done that I didn't get done because I'm not gonna do anything Saturday. So it's been quite an adjustment, you know what I'm saying? So like don't be hard on yourself though, because you're figuring it out and you've never lived this exact moment. Whatever this moment is that you're listening to and whatever you're going through, I don't care if it's something similar that you've been through. Maybe you're relearning a lesson that you've been through before. You've never lived this moment or this moment or this moment before. Like this is all new. So like give yourself grace, you know what I'm saying? Because the journey is the journey and it's preparing you for where you're going. It's preparing you for what you're working to achieve. And I firmly believe that. That's why I say that so much because I could look back at my life and see how this back here prepared me for this. So it's kind of like I can walk through this season that I'm in right now, me knowing I was led by listening to what I believe the Lord told me to do because I could have chose to stay at my company or the old job or whatever. So it's not like I just I was super prayerful and me believing that was the step of faith that I was supposed to take. You know what I'm saying? My mom said she knew I was going to leave. I didn't really know that, but God be giving me insight into my kids' lives. So, of course, He would give her insight into mine too. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I can look back at other steps of faith that I've taken. I remember one time, y'all. So, like I said, I've worked in the social work field, and I was working at this women's three-quarter way house, and I can always feel when the seasons are shifting. I don't know why I'm wired that way, but I'm the discernment from the Lord. We'll just say that, I guess. So I knew that I was supposed to leave, and I really felt like I was supposed to go work at this organization that I ended up going to work at. And the thing about it is, I left a full time salary job to go take it was actually a summer temporary position that was supposed to end at the end of the summer, because I believe that either I was going to stay there if that's where the Lord told me to go, or for whatever reason I was going to leave and He was going to have something else for me. But I really believed that I was supposed to stay there and go there. So I took the temporary seasonal position or whatever, and not knowing at the end of the summer I might not have a job, but I was obedient to what I believed the Lord told me to do. And then lo and behold, they kept me on, and I stayed for 3.5 years or something. It seems like everywhere I've worked in the social work field, I had three, well, if you count gang intervention too, but I had four jobs in the social work field. So in the 11, 12 years or whatever that I worked in the social work field, I have four different jobs, and it was always I stayed somewhere until, honestly, it was I got what I needed to prepare me for the next like task the Lord had for me or whatever. And then I would stay there and I would remain faithful until, and ultimately what I see that it was all preparing me for such a time as this. And y'all heard me just say I worked in the social work field for about 11, 12 years. So this 6 months that I have been working on my own was over a decade in the making. And I'm going to always say that. And that's always going to be a part of my story. I don't know why sometimes I'll be thinking, and I've been like this for a long time, where I'll have these moments where I'm like, if somebody was interviewing me about my life, I would say this, you know what I'm saying, about this moment. Don't ask me why, but I'm going to always say that. I'm never going to say it was this, not even about a year ago is when I started the course that I took to, get my business registered and all that good stuff. I'm never going to start there. That was a key part of my journey, but the preparation started way before that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so don't be hard on yourself. You've never done this before. I don't even know how we ended up just there, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to get y'all up out of here. So the last thing I want to say is I told y'all that if you paid attention, I said the Wednesday workshop I just had, nobody showed up at. Now, I'm actually kind of glad nobody showed up, because like I told y'all, I'm trying to get content done, whatever. But here's the thing. With business, I mean, even with podcasting, there's ebbs and flows of downloads and all this stuff. But with this stuff, just because somebody didn't show up at that one workshop doesn't mean that I'm about to quit. It just means I'm going to keep going. It also means I'm going to advertise it a little bit different. Like, I do have some ideas on promoting it a little bit different than I've been promoting it. Again, like I told y'all, I know I've been needing to make more videos, but I've had to figure out, what does that look like for me? I'm not too much, trends are cool, but I'm not too much gonna get into every little trend. I like trends on TikTok for like fun purposes, but with my company stuff, it's a little different, because I like to schedule. Y'all, I just told y'all I'm trying to get ahead, and I like to create timeless stuff. And with trending stuff, it's not timeless. So that's kind of why I don't get into this. Is why I don't do really current events on my show, because I'm in most things trying to create timeless content that 10 years from now, being efficient is going to be an important practice in business. 10 years from now, being patient is going to be an important practice of working to achieve goals. 10 years from now, integrity, hell, 100 years from now, like those are timeless things. But if I just get into like trends are cool. Like I said, on TikTok, sometimes I get into trends and I'm going to get into more content with that. You know what I'm saying? But again, I've been trying to figure out, what does it look like for me to be authentic to me and who I am and how I get down? What does that look like in all these spaces? You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all see me wherever I go, like how I am on social media, and I've always been like that, and that's something that people have always said about me. Oh, you're so real. I never understood that. I feel authentic is the word I prefer, but I get what they're trying to say. Like I'm not any different. Like my mom heard me say, well, I can't say what I want to say because my mom is in the next room, and she laughed. Y'all probably didn't hear her. And then I tried to say it as best as possible. I mean, I am who I am, and because who else I'm gonna be? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, keep going though, because sometimes you got to adjust how you're trying to get to the goal. It's not about trying to stop going towards the goal. Like that's when you fail, is when you quit. But if you try something and it doesn't work, the goal is still the goal. Just try a different way to get there. You know what I'm saying? And again, my first workshop somebody came to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like, and there's people that they couldn't come to the workshops just because of the timing. And I'm trying different things in different days and whatever. And it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Even with Melon Intoxicate, I'm going to be getting samples. So I'll have samples on hand because some people need to feel, see, what they're purchasing, and they don't want to just order it online, and they don't understand that Teespring is actually decent quality stuff. Like the hoodies are always super soft on the inside. I don't have any of the joggers, but I have been told by everybody who has bought joggers that they are super comfortable. So it's like, it's good quality stuff. But people don't know that if they don't know. Like other podcasters usually know, because a lot of podcasters use Teespring, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so anywho, thank y'all so much for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Things I want to make sure is, don't be hard on yourself. And if you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your goal, just maybe adjust the strategy to get there. Don't give up just because it doesn't work out fast enough, or how you think it's supposed to work out the first time or whatever, or a second time even, or third time. Like, you got to keep going, you know what I'm saying? Because the journey is preparing you for where you're going. Make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Be healthy in relationships. Man, these gas prices have got, man, y'all. It's a lot going on out here. So like, be kind to people, because everybody is facing a battle that they're not talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how glamorous you think somebody's life is. Everybody has their struggles. This is why you see where celebrities will still commit suicide. So like, somebody having financial abundance doesn't even mean they don't have struggles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, be kind. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to laugh, joke, be petty. And I have my people that I'm petty with and I joke with, and we may go back and forth on, man, hold up, y'all. Shout out to the spades players. You feel me? Like, man, these people who can't play spades, and y'all know who y'all are they're just like I actually, y'all, I feel sorry for them, because they're so hurt that they weren't prepared for the black experience. Not all of them, but some of them are so hurt that they're out here making videos on the internet and like just their pain is just oozing out in creative ways. So shout out to the spades players, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I have my petty joking, you know what I'm saying, that I have with people, but I'm not disrespectful to people. I'm not like mean to people, you know what I'm saying? Like be kind because bruh, people got enough problems. They don't need y'all fool. And how you gonna be beefing with somebody on the internet anyway? Like I don't even understand that. 9 times out of 10, you don't know that. Like I'm sorry. Even if a podcaster that I'm cool with, what like we was to fall out, you know how many people like friendships I done lost that I never thought we would not be friends. Like it's just life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not that serious, y'all. Like be kind or be quiet, walk away from people, whatever you gotta do to protect your peace. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. So like don't be letting these people have power over you, trying to prove yourself on the internet for what? You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be the main character on Twitter. That's the last place you want to be the main character. Like, be the main character in your life, yes, but I promise y'all, I do not want to be the main character on Twitter unless it's that Melon Intoxicate blew up, or Tamara the Dawn Inc. blew up, or maybe something super dope happened with my kids and they know they're my kids and that's why they mention me. But outside of that, I'm not trying to be nobody's main character on Twitter. And if for show, you feel me, is not finna be for beefing with nobody. Because I don't even beef with people in real life. Like, we going to talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to come to a conclusion. We're going to do whatever. Or we just ain't going to be cool no more. Like, what I look like at 41, especially, let's forget about all that I'm building and all that I'm working for, because I've always had stuff to lose, even if it's just a career. You know what I'm saying? What I look like at my grown age trying to beef with somebody, like, what? So yeah, be kind, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, when I get back from my vacation, I will talk to y'all about that because it'll be another solo episode. I'm trying to make sure I keep solo episodes for a little while, but I have ideas for content, so we're going to have more guests. But it's like when I have the Melon Intoxication episodes once a month and the Jack of All Trades episodes once a month, and those are going to happen because I'm loving highlighting these other people. Like, that's just been really a dope addition to the show, and I've really enjoyed, like I don't know, like, yeah. I don't even know what I was gonna say, but yeah, it's been actually really dope, super inspiring. Like, I feel very like a journalist, you know what I'm saying? And it's been just super dope. So those are going to be episodes. So then it's kind of like, if I have too many guest episodes, then y'all don't hear about my life and how I'm trying to grow. But I do have some ideas. Okay, so I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...